Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Eye Satan Third Reich events. Installed, yes. Okay, we're knee-deep in the Soviet Union. We're heading into November. We are getting ready for the, if you will, winter stalemate. I assessed a few attacks that I was making and deciding, they gained me a province, but I didn't really see a good gain to that, so I decided to back off on them. This I'm a little worried about here, them pushing a little too deep into me. I had this sort of super stack here that just created simply by SRing too many troops into one spot. Yeah, I've got this province. We're not going to let them get any deeper here, though. Uh-oh. Send to these two divisions. Get you back up there. Okay, we control the Mediterranean. Okay, mass assaults have advanced. Well, we're just going to let that go. This is successful here. It's a bit of a fortified province, so that's a good thing. But I don't want to turn it into a pocket either. So I'm a little worried about this. They're flying in supplies. Okay. I'm going to supply that province. Try a spoiling attack on these guys. If we can get the province, great, but yeah, we can hold that river a little better. We don't need quite that much. To just try to hold the Volga. I could, I think, and hold Stalingrad that way, but I just, meh. If I can push, I'd sort of like to if it isn't too difficult, but... Oh, one thing, I saw, and let's go. I don't think I have Italy at war. The Soviet Union, not that it really matters. Obviously, yeah. Sent in their scripted units, so yeah. Just add to the nations that are at war with the Soviets. Okay, so we're going to stop trying to take that province. I guess we'll hold that province there. Well, maybe we'll let them occupy this and then counterattack. They're pushing me out of there. Just damn supplies. Steiner, where are my supplies? Ooh, we're battling some air power. They're coming after my transports, I think. So we're battling them back. Yes, we will give them metal. We'll give anybody they want metal or energy. Well, allies, friends, neutrals. See this? Just what I'm worried about right here. They're doing okay. Let's move the armored division. Guess theoretically we're still holding there, but that'd be too easy to cut off. Let's counterattack here, see if we can get some. Yeah, we shouldn't forget. Here, do a bit. Support them. And these guys now ready to attack. Okay, Operation Torch has just happened to us. Operation Torch was British-American invasion of North Africa in World War II, starting in the North Africa campaign on November 8, 1942. The Soviet Union had passed. Okay, this is sort of what I've been waiting for. Operation Anton, or Fall Anton as the German was the code name for the military occupation of Vichy, France, carried out by Germany and Italy. Okay. Vichy government continued to exist after Operation Anton, but their apparent, shall we say, independence and limited independence, maybe within Vichy, disappeared, and basically, from my understanding, from that time on, Marshal Petain, pictured there, basically checked out from any governing responsibility. And so the worst of the collaboration by the Vichy government, I don't put it Petain responsibility. It's the Pierre Laval. He very much continued to work with the Nazis after the case Anton, after there was any, this is actually a fairly good representation of what I think was happening. These parts of Alsace-Lorraine were reincorporated into the German Reich. A lot of people in there either spoke German or a version German of German, even along with France. Now, I'm sure a lot of people had grown up under French governance and everything that thought of themselves as French in these regions, but basically if you stayed in these regions, you were being treated as if you were German. You were drafted in the German army, and all similar sorts of things. There were various, this is an SA unit that moved across, but I didn't model it. There were SA units formed in this region, by a mixture of Germans coming from Germany moving in there, but also primarily people living in there. It really became re-Germanified, if you will. And that was going to be territory, part of Germany, ongoing into the future if Germany had won. Would they have taken more? There is, I don't know how much of it was wishful thinking at the time, speculation, or what some Germans thought in World War I of a bit of a land grab in France. I don't think it would have been very big, if much at all, had Germany won, and the Schlieffen Plan, one quickly knocked France out kind of victory. I'm not talking after a long, brutal war that happened, but I'm talking about the fast war. I think the main big German land grab in World War I would have been towards the east. This part's Poland, which had been part of the Tsarist Russia, and I don't know whether they would have gone after the Baltic states or how much, but they were looking to grab in the east more so. I think France very much thought that the great bulk of the occupied territory was just occupied to deal with the English, because notice they go all the way to the coast here, so there isn't an easy cooperative invasion channel kind of thing down here. And so the French government really believed, and I think it's quite true, and it really in the first 40 through to the beginning of 42. This kept France at peace. There were lots and lots of people that hated the German occupation, but thought, one, Germany was winning, two, they were going to get back Paris. They were going to get back at least the great bulk of this occupied zone. So they cooperated because, hey, the war was lost. Not was lost as in nothing more we can do about it. The war had already been fought and lost. It was over. Now deal with the temporary occupation, whether it lasts for, at the time in 1940 or 41, whether it lasts for another 6 months or another 6 years. Remember, the French I mean, they occupied a bunch of Germany at the very end of World War I, but they continued occupying, and we have the remilitarization of the Ruhr. Well, the remilitarization of the Ruhr here was also a throwing out of French occupation at the same time. There had been a military occupation that had slackened over time, but there was still a continued sort of French economic occupation in which there were French enforcement agencies, and Germany created, or the Nazis created, a few martyrs over some people that died over this situation, that there was an ongoing economic exploitation with French officials, and I really don't know how many policemen or occupation soldiers or just exactly the nature of it, but as ongoing, because what was the stage in, say, 1921 versus the stage in 1931, it changed. But I don't know, I'm not a good enough on history on this, and just know what was happening at which stage. But up until the 1936, there was continued French exploitation of this part of Germany, and everybody understood, including the French and the Germans, that this was still Germany. It wasn't going to become part of northeastern France. It was just payback for the war, and they were exploiting it for the benefit of France. Well, that's sort of what the French thought of this to some degree, and that at some point, whether at the point of peace with the English, whatever that means, whether it means Germany occupying London or fully conquering all the British Isles, or whether that just simply means sinking enough convoys, ships and convoys, that the English come to a negotiation table and have a negotiated peace, whether Italy gets Egypt and territories and colonies in the Mediterranean or not, or how much you're breaking up of the English Empire or not, just whatever it was going to take to get to that peace. Once that peace happened, then more and more of the occupation would be lifted, presumably quickly, in Paris and in territories in the west of France. Not that they wouldn't have had a sort of a French demilitarized zone, in this region in here, similar to what the French had in Germany for ongoing years after that, but it was something that they thought was going to be worked out. So the great bulk of the population didn't resist on those grounds. If you got to put up with this for 2 years and then everything will be all right again, as opposed to go kill a couple of German soldiers and then have harsh reactions against you, your family, and everything, your village and whatever else. So you just sort of let it pass. Once Germany got bogged down in the Soviet Union, once America was involved, once the continuing realization of what the Nazi regime was going to be, that's when you start getting more and more French resistance, including the full occupation of Vichy France. So Operation Anton, or Case Anton, as I sometimes seen it called, was a plan set up to occupy this part of France. Now, I've read some descriptions by people that were in it. The Germans, they literally went around and gathered up all the German soldiers and SS types that they could find at the time. Meaning, like, you go to some administrative occupation building that had 50 Germans working in it. The German army said, okay, all of you guys, go get your service weapon, whether it was a pistol, because a lot of them, guys, clerks, these types of people, supply people, whether it was a pistol, even like a 32 calibered pistol, or your rifle, or whatever it was, just go get everything. Sort of basically an emergency call-up that they definitely had, pre-planned general paths and operations. That's why they had a code name for it. But they hadn't, informed every clerk of it, because obviously the plans would leak out. But the planners had you know, set up this. So they just went and literally got everybody, stop what you're doing, go get your service weapon and whatever else, and form up out here, and then we go. And that's how the occupation happened. It did not happen as we might imagine, where we're seeing, you know, occupation garrison divisions or infantry divisions like these moving swiftly down in a coordinated thing. I'm not saying none of that happened. I'm sure some of that happened, but it was really just a everybody come now, we go, we occupy. And so they just pulled everybody out and occupied France. They rushed down, tried to get the French fleet in Marseille here, or Toulon. Maybe it was more at Toulon. Yeah, it was at Toulon, I think. The French had made pre-preparations a bit for it and had put scuttling charges at the bottoms of most of their significant ships, or all their ships, and scuttled it before the Germans were able to get in, because they were racing down with some units somewhat prepared for this, to try to capture the ships. Had they got the French ships, it would have given Germany a significant fleet in the Mediterranean. By the time you get the Americans coming in for Operation Torque, it's not one that would have defeated them, but could have been some serious actions. You know, you get pull Kriegsmarine soldiers, you know, off the German ships up here, fly them down or put them on trains and get them down here, you know, once you capture the ships, and they quickly train up on their ships. Now, you would have seen some real naval battles. Again, I'm not saying, well, you know, you got potentially a lot of British and German air power flying off the various islands. So they, you know, they could be really challenging, you know, presumably forming up with some Italian units, but challenging operations in the Mediterranean. That didn't happen. There weren't any significant, to my knowledge, German takings of any vessels, you know, cruisers or battleships or anything like that. So that's what happened. Now I think this has been modified from what, because one version of this, I don't know if this is going to be it, but either for Black Ice or old, you know, regular Hearts of Iron, that just turns all, you know, gives all this to Germany. And I would sort of like the option to keep Vichy as a French or as a German ally. We'll see what happens here. We obviously have some British units here that are, I think, entirely disorganized. Remainder units from the never got out from the occupation there. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, okay. This has been modified to just give, which was part of it, give Corsica, which definitely did have a lot of Italian influence over the years, to Italy instead of France. So we still have a Vichy. Okay, well, I thought maybe it was one of these. Now let's... They got a militia unit there. And now we have the Americans landing. I really like the way they've done this. It's hard to script or to get somebody like the Americans to do a good invasion. You can't, you know, with what they have here, a lot of stuff they just really can't do. But so that they turn these over. So we're battling there. Yeah, Vichy's fighting along with us. Okay. So we're fighting. Now Vichy did fight in some places. Oh. Hope they didn't pull him off of any important other commands, but notice Petain here. He had a division at the time. So now we have to deal with this. And I got these guys down here. Flak division, I guess. Oh no, it isn't too late to add commanders to it. Okay, he's... Why isn't my scroll working? Ah. Okay, there we go, we're back. Okay, let's look for... There we go, let's buff officer. And this guy, what is this? Kampfgruppe Bachus. Don't really know much about this. Grenadier Regiment. It's an air landing regiment, but it's army, I presume. Okay, so we'll get an army. Even though it's air landing, those self-propelled units aren't air transportable. We'll do it to him. Now, let's see, once this is over, okay. We've got more than enough supplies. Now I've been, as some of you have been noting, I have been overbuilding supplies. And just, I think I've talked about this a bit before, but if you notice here, we've got maxed out on supplies and waiting for fuel. Okay, well that's fuel, but we have positive in the fuel. So I just didn't want units to not have, including naval units, to have supplies. So overdoing it just for a time. At least that was my idea. Way too much. Okay, well that'll get more of these other units into operations. So now we have to deal with... Well, they're rebasing from here. Fighting. Now once, see, and this is my understanding of the engine is, now that this is American territory, and now that this, well, this is occupied, still Vichy, but, and this is American territory, and so is this here. Even if I win here, there may be an event that converts it back to true Vichy territory as opposed to Vichy occupied territory. But so long as it's American territory, it very much encourages the AI. The AI right now is, if it sees a pocket like this, it will try to reinforce and supply, send in supply links into them. And even, let's presume that for the moment I'm going to defeat these guys. Well, and so they will organize its own further reinforcement and invasion. So had I not pre-positioned some German units here, if the Vichy was unable to hold here, the Americans would reinforce this success, and so I would have to deal with that. Even if I win, and I don't know whether these units are going to be able to take on and defeat the American units here. If I were to win and put them back to Vichy occupied, but it'd be occupied American, it would encourage the American AI to try to retake them, do its own independent AI driven invasions. So, which makes the game more challenging, because otherwise it just may not do that, and it becomes a little too safe, shall we say. Okay, and we still have to deal with the problems here. Yeah, too many units. Okay, let's see if these guys have any ability to counterattack here. So I really don't want this to be a complete, you know, Battle of the Bold situation here. Now let's send you down to here. Oh, and how's my... Okay, we also need to, and I have been neglecting it, doing a little bit while off camera, but let's send him down to my ally who's not at war, but ally nonetheless. New base here. Now, do I have... Yes, okay. Now, like I was saying, I do believe America will start supplying these invasion beachheads, so that if we get some submarines operating out there, we can sink some of their transports. Which would be nice. Sure. Okay, see, unfortunately I can't hover over it, but the first one down is Case Anton, like I've heard it called both Operation and Case Anton. That one, I think if I click it, either will give me the choice or we'll just occupy. Okay. Yeah, that would give... So if you want to basically give all this territory over to the Germans, you can still do that with that, and then you have a choice of clicking it or not. I don't know. I don't plan on it because I'm playing a more historical playthrough compared to, like, oh my god, my friend who did this is a really nice playthrough. Now his is a very game-centric, as in winning the game, not playing history playthrough, and you know, there's multiple ways to play this game, obviously, and he very good at that. So if you're looking for that playthrough, there's a link to it on the channel page. But he's a sort of a min-maxer, where I'm looking at a bit more history for these. But we definitely get more resources and more ICs. Are they a puppet of mine after this? That's what I would do to change this. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong country here. Where's Germany? It'd be under the G's, wouldn't it? That Case Anton, if anybody's listening there, that version that I'm guaranteeing the independence of Vichy. I would have made him a puppet at that stage with the mechanics. But maybe there's reasons not to, both historical and game-wise. So obviously we would get all of that, but conversely, look at this map. All of Vichy, except for where the French or the British are occupying temporarily, is green, and I'm not having to occupy it. Where we've got, there's going to be a flare up here of some units at some point. I just have the two essential spots, and there's not much industry down there. A little bit down here. Yeah, that's a decent amount, though we're under occupation conditions, so you don't get the full thing. But I'm not having to too heavily occupy. And I have enough forces to move against any outbreaks of partisans. Mentioning partisans, how are we doing up in Norway? See if these guys can take. They're still crawling in there. Okay. Okay, they're pushing me out of that province, so I'm going to stop that attack. Send a second division into there, but there's that one. Well, they ran out of supplies while moving. Well, okay, that might hold. Army unit combined arms. That's good. 43. Let that go. Now we'll continue that battle. What are we doing down here in Africa? In that fight. No, they're not doing as well as I would hope. Oh, we've got Wavis Bay. Cool. Now they're going to come and try to cut me off. But we're going to... Now let's move back into there. I just want to get Wavis Bay. Not that it has much in the way of resources. But, well, they should have... Well, it's diamonds. Diamonds can be used for a lot of cutting and industrial purposes. That's why it was South African territory and not just... because Wavis Bay was British colony when the rest of it was German Southwest Africa. And that's why until Namibia got its independence, and it wasn't this big of a thing, it was a much smaller thing, Wavis Bay had been part of South Africa proper and not part of Southwest Africa that South Africa occupied. Diamond should... that should get a rare materials spot there or something like that, because let's just... that's there. Because you can use diamonds to cut a lot of things. I want to take out province. Don't have fighters in here. The region to intercept them. Maybe they're too far back. These guys are... They're in supply, that's nice. Strategic bombing, stop that. Been doing... added some strategic bombing to hopefully bring down the national unity of the Soviets. And as we can see, we're surrender progress 78. There. 81 national unity. Okay, that isn't going well. So we're going to stop this battle. Okay. But we've secured this up here, so... What's the terrain like? Okay. Well, let's occupy the swamp. And we'll hit them from the flank there. No, okay, let's see. Empty province there. But we're going to stop these. I don't know that they're doing us any good. They're pushing on them for sure, but... Counterattack. We're not going to exhaust ourselves though. That's not doing enough, but I think these guys are going to hold out. Maybe not. No, once they're there, we do a better counterattack. Just don't want to lose my mask again. Oh, are we supplying that up there properly? Yes, good. Let me make sure. I'm thinking about invading Archangel. But I don't know if this is the right time of year to do it, but we're thinking about getting that. Maybe they can capture some supplies. Okay, we're gonna hit these guys with them. I'm just a little nervous about getting pushed in there too far. Oh good, we went down here. And one up there. Now. We're still battling here. Going after Petain. Fighting the big red one there. Let's strike into there. Okay, well, we won that. Send these guys over here. Looks like we're going to win here. Now let's break this stack up. Now that's sort of the easy thing, is just move the stack. somewhere we can supply it a little better. Damn, the supplies, where are my supplies? They should all be, there should be so many supplies moving out to there. But they're just not getting there. The ships still aren't there because they're moving at no speed whatsoever. It's just these guys will move better. Oh good, we're moving into South Africa a bit more. Winning there, we're winning there. Because right now I'm looking at, realistically I don't think I can take these at this time. I'm sort of hoping here if we can continue pushing this way we can maybe get whatever this Petrodolsk. Archangel's only one IC, but that could be taken with a naval invasion. And other than that, I don't see any new victory hexes, victory provinces that are within realistic grasp with our current supply situation. I feel confident enough about my forces levels, you know, number of divisions and their quality. It's just the supply. So here is if the Soviets continue to, you can see here, stream out of this, because we're just down I think to one or two provinces that they can get supply through here that we've cut them off from. So, and this here I'm not even sure where, like that I don't think they can supply through, so that they may be sort of rather messed up. So I'm hoping to push back around in here and sort of pincer into that. May be able to continue doing that during winter. Well, I think we're going to end this episode here. Thanks so much for viewing. Thanks for liking the videos. Do appreciate that. Please post your comments. Love to hear your thoughts. And based on some thoughts, I'm trying to spread out some of these big doom stacks of units to get better supply and have units behind the lines getting supplied, but I just don't have enough air power to get it there, and they're not coming up fast enough. Okay, see you next time.